What is up, Bills Mafia? We have 121 days to go until the Buffalo Bills win Super Bowl 57, and this channel is going to document every single day leading up to that amazing moment with a video. You probably noticed that things look a little different tonight. That's because I have my first ever guest here on my channel, and I'll tell you what, it was slow going. I didn't think it was going to happen. I couldn't figure out the audio, but I have a really patient person here with me. This is Cris Style. He is a huge Kansas City Chiefs fan living in Las Vegas. Welcome, yes, Cris, to the Best Buffalo Bills channel or not.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Gotta have a Chiefs fan to help me get through the next couple days as we head towards the big game, the biggest game ever. I got to find out because I need insight. I don't want to just hear my fellow Buffalo Bills fans talking about how we're just going to crush the Chiefs. I need to make sure that's true by asking a Chiefs fan. So we'll get into that in just a little bit. But we had been talking. Tell me, man, like, first of all, there you are in Las Vegas, Chiefs fan. You were telling me a little bit about that. How did you end up a Chiefs fan in Las Vegas?
Well, I'm originally from Kansas City, Missouri. Most of my family lives in Kansas City, Missouri.
Gotcha.
Most of my family are Chiefs fans. There's sprinkled in some. One's a Denver fan and one's a Raider fan, but we're not going to talk about them. but most of all my family are Chiefs fans. So I was pretty much born into being a Chiefs fan.
Gotcha. And the family's all in the AFC West?
Yes.
Holy cow. Boy, that must be fireworks at the Christmas and Thanksgiving table.
We just make fun of them, because they're not their teams are not that good. So
yeah, not lately.
We've been beating them lately, so
yeah, it makes it easier for you for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, like I said, big game coming up here in a couple days. I mean, this one was circled on the calendar as soon as it came out. I mean, it is like, I think the biggest. I know it's the biggest game of the year. Absolutely, bar none.
Yeah.
The winner of this
coming. No, I was saying just especially coming off of the divisional playoff game last year and the whole 13 seconds thing and the back and forth of that game and just how crazy that game. Probably one of the best playoff games of all time. Two great quarterbacks going back and forth and just the way it ended, it couldn't have ended. It could have ended any other way. You guys could have won and we could have won. It was that crazy of a game.
Well, I like to say that we actually did win that game twice. So we beat the Chiefs last year 3 times in the regular season. Then we beat them with a minute and a half to go in that playoff game. Then we beat them with 13 seconds to go. And let me ask you, before we get into the nitty-gritty of this game coming up, like, when there was 13 seconds left, I mean, anything can happen, but for the most part, you thought, oh, this game's over.
When Gabe Davis scored that last touchdown, I said, well, this is Buffalo's year. That was the first thing I said. This is Buffalo's year. But then, and I thought you guys were going to do a squib kick, like just kick it a little bit to make the time go. But when you guys kicked it in the end zone, I'm like, oh no, hold on now.
I know.
I was like, hold on. We just need a field goal. I mean,
right.
So, and it worked out.
And then what did you think when you saw how Buffalo was lined up on the first play where Mahomes just dumped it off to Tyreek Hill with 3 blockers in front and he went 20-25 yards?
I was surprised. I was really surprised how you guys were lined up. I thought you guys would. I thought you would be lined up a little bit more up close. I thought you guys would have some guys on that side wrecking, whatever, not letting us get the ball off and to a screen and letting us, go up the field. I thought it was going to take a Hail Mary pass or something like that for us to try to win the game.
I mean, and then so they had that formation on the first play, which is like, all right, they didn't, I think the idea was let them catch it short, tackle him right away. Right. And then when they didn't, and he got to the 45-yard line, their own 45, I think.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I'm like, okay, well, they're going to have to tighten it up here.
Right.
And then they lined up again the same way.
Yeah. And honestly, I still thought that they was going to try to just give it to Kelsey real quick, and he would try to break a few tackles and then hurry up and spike it. But when he broke up the seam, I was just like, ooh, you left it. It was like, I don't know if, I get it. I think Buffalo, because once Josh Allen scored that touchdown to Gabe Davis, everybody on the sideline is celebrating because, you guys thought you won.
Yeah.
And I just think that, I don't know. I think this cost Leslie Frazier a coaching job.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why they went with Brian Daboll instead of Leslie Frazier as a head coach, is because he messed that part up. I think he didn't tighten up, and he thought that this game was won, it's over, so I'm just going to go light, prevent coverage.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
So,
I suddenly got a headache.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was the ultimate. That was the ultimate choke of a coaching staff, I think, in the history of playoff football.
Yeah.
And like you said, I think possibly everybody on the Bills thought they won. Honestly, as crazy as that sounds, when you're talking about a professional football team, there's a good chance that they just were like, you know what, we got this thing. And that was the mentality, because the players on defense, I've watched those plays a number of times, and I'm telling you what, they absolutely look like they're jogging into their positions. Mm-hmm. As crazy as that sounds, it did not look like to me that they had any intensity, any urgency on either of those plays. They really thought they were just going to make a couple stops, and they were going to have to go for the Hail Mary. They were planning for the Hail Mary. I guess that's what it was. Yeah. That's all it was.
I just think they played. I think Leslie just told them, play back and don't let Tyreek Hill get over the top. That's what I think they was.
Yeah, because they got burned. They got burned by Tyreek Hill the drive before that. So I don't know. Yeah. They played scared, and it cost them. But I had started this channel like 48 hours after. My project was to release a video every single day leading up to the moment we win the Super Bowl, and I'm confident we're going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Right.
And one of the sentiments that I had was, although we didn't win the Super Bowl when we should have last year, I don't know if I would have wanted a Super Bowl champion team, my first one ever, with a resume of having lost to the Jaguars. They lost to the Colts. They got crushed by the Colts. They lost to the Patriots. They lost to the Bucks. They lost to the Titans. They lost to there was a couple other teams that they lost to. And it sounds weird, not that I would have balked at a Super Bowl championship, but I want my Super Bowl champion to be like, oh yeah, they were the best team in the NFL that year. You can't argue or debate how good they were. Last year would not have been that type of year.
Well, I will say this. I personally think, and this is my opinion, in the regular season, when you guys beat us in the regular season, I personally think that you guys I think the team kind of got like, we beat the Chiefs, and they let their foot off the gas a little bit. Like, I think they put their all in that game.
Yeah.
And, we finally beat the Chiefs. We beat Mahomes. We beat Andy Reid. And then after that, it was just kind of like, all right, we got this for the rest of the season. And I think Buffalo kind of let their foot off the gas.
Okay.
You still got the rest of the season to go. You still got to win the rest of these games. And, it was a little up and down for you guys. But you guys got your win back on y'all blew out the Patriots in the playoffs. So y'all got that, you got your win back. So.
Yeah. Yep. And Michael on the chat here says that he doesn't think that we ever got an answer for that last play. And we didn't. Our coaching staff really wimped out. They chickened out in the press conference, giving these crap answers about, we talked about this and we just didn't execute. Quite honestly, that was the one thing I think all us Bills fans were disappointed about with Sean McDermott, who we're very happy with because he's turned the franchise around.
Yeah.
But his reaction his answers to, or lack of answers to, what happened in that game last season really didn't sit well with Bills fans here in Western New York, and it still doesn't. We still are like, what did you guys do or not do on those last couple plays? Yeah. All right, so that's ancient history, but
yeah, that's last year.
So
because we messed up and didn't get the jet. We didn't complete the ordeal after that. We had a great first half. We had a great first half against the Bengals, and in the second half, we forgot how to play football.
That was crazy. In Kansas City, blowing the Bengals out.
And like we was about to we was about to blow them out in the first half, and then after that debacle before the half and the last drive, it was like they came out and it was like they just forgot how to coach. They forgot forgot to throw the football. Nobody can get open. They negated the run, which was working in the first half. Andy Reid just said, forget it, I'm not running the football. But every time we run it, we would get 5-6 yards a clip. But yeah, it was a weird second half. It was one of the weirdest second halves I've ever seen any team. It was a Dr. and Jekyll on Mr. Hyde type thing.
Yeah, kind of like Jana, like you said. I mean, I guess there's something to, feeling overconfident, and it happens with us in our jobs, right? Why wouldn't it happen with professional athletes? What's up, Jesse? I hope you're having a great night too. Thanks for coming on board. This here is Cris. He has a podcast there in Las Vegas. He has the Arrowhead Chief podcast.
Yep.
I'm sure Buffalo Bills fans, if you're checking this stream out right now, I'd like you to go over to Cris, his channel, and subscribe. Just to be nice. Just be nice. You don't have to watch his stuff because he's a Chiefs fan. I know.
Yeah, right.
Just pump up those subscribers. So that, again, is Arrowhead Chief Podcast. Check him out. Subscribe and leave a message. Say, go Bills. I'm sure he'll appreciate that. All right, so let's get on with, this game. I mean, it was we all circled it on our calendar. We knew that the Bills and Chiefs were going to meet again, even if they weren't. They were scheduled. So, and we all expect them to play twice this year.
Right.
So, two different teams, kind of, right? I mean, the Chiefs they don't have Tyreek Hill anymore.
No.
They're missing some, key players that took them on their playoff run of the AFC Championship game last year. What type of team do you have?
A young team. We went from one of the oldest teams last year to now we're one of the 5 youngest teams in the league right now. We have a lot of rookies who are contributors, especially on defense. Our first round pick, George Karlaftis, he's been out there contributing, and he's been one of the pleasant surprises on this team. Getting pressure. He got a half a sack last week. So he's been one of the gems on the team. Trent McDuffie, our other first round pick, our corner, he played in the Arizona game, but Arizona's stupid turf, he ended up tweaking a hamstring. So he hasn't played since then. Hopefully, he's been practicing all week. So hopefully maybe he'll play this week. I don't know. And we got a couple rookies in this corners, and Joshua Williams, Jalen Watson, who's been playing. So yeah, we have a young team initially, but the core, of course, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, Patrick Mahomes, of course. And, we've been doing things a little different. No more big plays, and last year that kind of tailored back to because a lot of teams were playing too high safeties and not letting Tyreek Hill get deep. That was the whole deal. Like, we're not going to let you beat us like that where you get quick points. You're going to have to be patient. And in the beginning, we struggled last year with that because they got spoiled. We did. We got spoiled with throwing the football down the field and being able to score like that. So as the season went on, Patrick learned to dink and dunk and get and spread the ball around, and okay to take the check down. It's okay to get the 5 yards instead of trying to get 20, And I think that helped him to go into this season to say, okay, now I have to. I can't look over and see number 10 in a matchup and say, oh, I could just throw it up and Tyreek's going to be down there somewhere. No, he has to incorporate everybody. He has to tight ends, running backs. Most of our touchdowns this year have been tight ends and running backs. So it only a few. I think we only got like 2 wide receiver touchdowns this year. All the rest of them are running backs and tight ends. So
Okay, so they've adjusted to that.
yeah.
Quickly, Jesse says hello to you.
Hey, how you doing, Jesse?
He says he's a Bills fan for life, and then we have Michael who has a question. He wants to know how the Chiefs corners are going to stop Stephon Diggs.
I tell you one thing. Last year, when we played them in the playoffs, I think they said we're not going to let Stephon Diggs kill us, but then Gabe Davis went off for 8 catches and 200 yards and 4 touchdowns. So,
Yeah.
so I'm trust me, I'm not sitting here acting like we got rookies out there, so we got young guys out there who are going to have to step up and just try our best to hold on to these receivers because it's not just Gabe Davis and Steph. You got Isaiah McKenzie, you got Jamison Crowder, you got the Khalil Shakur kid. Like you guys got weapons, Dawson Knox. Like you guys got guys out there that if we don't get pressure on Josh Allen this week, it's going to be bombs away. It's going to be bombs away.
Yep. They traded for Christian McCaffrey today, and apparently he'll be playing.
I hope not. I hope not.
I don't see that happening. So the Bills obviously have stepped up their game quite a bit not stepped it up. They're the same team that they had at the end of last year and better on both sides of the ball. This year, they've had that stumble against the Dolphins, which was really weird, outgaining them 500 yards to 200, and somehow the Dolphins, pulled it out.
Well, I will say this, and when New England was, the prime of that division, they used to always have problems going to Miami because of that heat.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of cold weather. New England's a cold weather team. Buffalo's a cold weather team, and going to Miami in that heat, that sauna, it just does something to the team that goes down there. So
yeah. A lot of the players that had played down in Miami and at Florida or Florida State, they said it was the hottest game they've ever played in. So, but it was hot for both sides, and I don't really, as much as people use that as part of the reason why the Bills lost, the Dolphins defense were on the field for 90 plays.
Sure.
So we should have scored 50 points, but
they say the way that the stadium is structured is the visiting team has the heat pointing to them, and so
definitely.
I don't know.
All right, so here's a couple things we're going to look at. So far, tell me about the season you guys have had so far. You guys lost to the Colts, and that's kind of like your Miami Dolphins game of the year.
That game was just everything that went wrong. Like we get the ball, muff punts. Special teams was terrible that day. Our main kicker, Harrison Bucker, which I'm glad he's playing this weekend, he was hurt from the Arizona game also from that turf. He twisted his ankle. So we had Matt Amendola, who just lost the game for Arizona last week. He missed like 3 kicks. He missed the extra point. He missed another 3 points. And, it was just bad. Kelsey dropped a game-winning touchdown. It was just all bad. And then when we got a third down stop, the Chris Jones, he didn't push. He didn't say. He just looked at Matt Ryan and said a few words, and they threw a flag for taunting. So that hurt us. They marched down the field and scored. And
that's a whole other conversation. The referees getting into these games.
Yeah, but other than that, I'm our season is going pretty good. Our offense is still figuring itself out, which is crazy still that we're still scoring 32 points a game and we're still figuring it out. Trying to keep a more balanced attack with the run and the pass. Our running game is a little bit better. They usually roll with the hot hand this year. whether it's Clyde, whether it's Jared McKinnon or the rookie Isaiah Pacheco. Our receivers have been growing game by game. MVS has showed flashes. Juju has showed flashes. McCole, but and then Kelsey is Kelsey. So and then defensively, I think we as a unit, there's been better. The tackling's been better. I felt like last year, I love Tyrann Mathieu, but I feel like Tyrann Mathieu made a lot of business decisions last year where he would just let guys run right past him. He wouldn't have no effort trying to hit nobody. Just this year, the tackling is a whole lot better. Yeah, our secondary, like I said, is young, so they're going to give up some yardage. They might even give up some touchdowns, but all in all, I'm happy with what I'm seeing from the Chiefs this year.
Okay, well, let's look at the team ranks here. I don't know if you can see this on the screen or not. Probably can see it on your phone. So the Chiefs do rank first in points scored, which is, I think Buffalo is just behind you guys.
Yes.
And then after that, I think the most glaring statistics really are on the rush yards per game. You guys are 18th.
Yeah.
And then we have some problems there for you guys. Points game allowed, 23rd.
Yeah, we're 23rd.
Pass yards allowed, 24th in the league.
Yeah.
Whereas Buffalo, if you look on the flip side over there, I mean, that bodes well really nicely for Buffalo because they're first, second in a lot of those categories. So let's talk a little game plan.
Yeah.
What? I'll start because mine's really short.
Okay.
You can't stop Kelsey, but you definitely have to. What's the adage? You can't stop him, but you can only contain him.
Yeah.
Kelsey's going to get his 6, 7, 8 receptions, get a touchdown, but you can't let him have 4.
Yeah, no.
And then take Kelsey out of the game. Juju Smith-Schuster does not worry me. MVS does not worry me. Sky Moore, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think he's kind of like your Khalil Shakir. How has he done? How's he done this year?
Because Andy Reid tends to not like to throw the rookie out there all the way. So, but in the snaps that he has got, he looks good. The fan base is screaming to get Sky Moore out there.
Okay.
So they're screaming from the hills to get him out there.
Yeah.
So, but every time we see him, he looks good.
Okay. I feel like Khalil Shakir had a bit of a breakout game, so I think we're going to see more of him than Isaiah McKenzie. And then on defense, I honestly think that Buffalo's defense is probably the strength of this team right now, which is crazy to say because Buffalo could put up a lot of points, but, I mean, they've given up 7 total points in the second half in 5 games. Mm-hmm. So not that, the Chiefs are the Dolphins or the Titans or even the Rams or definitely not the Steelers. So I think this is definitely our toughest test, but I think overall with the pass rush and the defensive line specifically that we should be able to stop the run, and I do believe we can. They'll probably have the same game plan as they had even when Tyreek Hill was in, and that's play 2 high safeties.
Yeah.
Maybe not. But anyway, that's kind of like what I'm thinking about. How about your take?
On offense, it's all predicated off the offensive line. Orlando Brown has not been having a good season, and he wants to have this. He wanted to get paid like a top 5 left tackle, and he has not been playing like a top 5 left tackle. He has been, any good pass rusher has been killing. Anybody with a speed rush has been killing him. Last week, Chandler Jones was killing him. Now in the second half, they helped him out a little bit, getting somebody to chip Chandler Jones, and the tackles are the ones that I'm nervous. Our interior offensive line is probably one of the best. That's where our bread and butter is. But on the outside, Wiley and Orlando Brown is what scares me. That Russo and Von Miller, we can't let them wreck the game. If they come in and they're wrecking the game, we're gonna lose. Okay. We're gonna lose. Gotcha. And on defense, Chris Jones is initial. If Chris Jones can get a couple sacks
Mhm.
and make Josh Allen second guess his throws or make him rush his throws, then we have a good chance of trying to win this game.
All right, here's the injury report for the game as of right now. Out for Buffalo, they're doing way better. I mean, injury wise, they got a lot of guys back. Jake Kumaro, I mean, that's a special teams guy, really. Jordan Phillips is a pretty big loss if they don't have him. Chiefs were down about 7 minutes left on this stream because of Zoom. They have limited me to a certain time. So we're gonna have to try to get this in under the wire here. Tell me about these injuries you guys have coming into the game.
Now, the biggest one is Deshaun Warden. He's one of our defensive tackles. He's one of our rotational good. He was one of the ones that were good against the run. That's a big blow. He's out for the season. He tore ACL, so he's not coming back for the rest of the season. That's why we elevated, what's his name, Taylor Stallworth. He's from the Colts last year. He was pretty good against the run. So hopefully he can provide what Deshaun Warden had. Rashad Fenton, I'm actually glad he's not playing. He is the one that's been getting cooked by any receiver that he covers. He grabs a lot. He's always getting PI calls, so I'm happy that he's not playing.
Okay.
And then Brian Cook, he's one of our young rookie safeties. He's showing promise. He's young, but he's it's a little bit of a loss. But yeah, I think we can survive without him.
Okay.
I think Deion Bush can come in and provide good snaps for.
All right.
Now, the main person that in this game that I was when this game came up, we had lost our other linebacker, Willie Gay. Willie Gay is our sideline fast linebacker. He's good at diagnosing plays. He's good in coverage. One of our good cover linebackers. This is the game where I feel like we're going to miss him. He's the one, probably he was going to be the one to spy Josh Allen because I know Josh Allen likes to run. So that's where we're going to miss Willie Gay.
Gotcha. So. All right. So this game has been just picked apart for a long time now. There's not much left except to play the game.
Right.
So let's give our predictions here. In fact, I have a prediction contest. And if anybody gets the score exactly right, I send them a Bills hat and a Bills pullover. If you predict it right and you get it right, I'm going to send you a Chiefs hat and a Chiefs pullover.
Okay.
So far, no one's won, but so what do you say? Final score for Sunday?
All right. So last night I did my live and with another Bills fan. Shout out to Arrowhead podcast, my homie Judge. My prediction last night was 31-28 Chiefs. I feel like we will be down 24-28 with a minute some left. And I feel like just Patrick Mahomes is going to have to just do Patrick Mahomes things. He marches down the field and get a touchdown for the win.
Okay. I like it. I don't see it the same way. I see almost the exact same thing that happened last year. Week 5 in Kansas City. Kansas City did not play bad, but they turned the ball over. They ended up losing 38-20. I think the score was closer than 38-20 last year. But it won't. The score will be 37-17 Buffalo. And it will be a real 37-17 Buffalo. That's my prediction. And if I win, I'm sending myself a hat and a pullover. I have one special thing set up here for you. But before you go, tell everybody where they can definitely check you out, especially after the Bills win, so they can see you cry in your beer. What podcast?
You can find me, Arrowhead Chief Podcast, on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple, Google, Stitcher, Breaker, Anchor. You'll find me on that YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and then on social media, you can find us AH Chief Podcast on Twitter, on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and we're on TikTok. So you can find us on all of them.
Sweet. All right. So we'll hopefully do this again, maybe even Sunday night.
You can find me also on, I got to give them a shout out because they're one of my collab sponsors. Every morning quarterback You can find me on there. It's every morning quarterback or emqpodcast.com/locker-room. You can find me on there also. Just scroll up. It's all kinds of podcasts. There's a Buffalo Bills podcast on there. There's a
Okay.
49. There's all kinds of podcasts on there, but you can find me on there too.
Perfect. Awesome deal. Awesome deal. I would stick around a little bit longer with you, but like I said, Zoom is shutting me down here in a second.
Yeah.
And I want to say hello to Colleen real quick. Colleen, thanks for joining. It's good to see you again. And I do have something special to end tonight's stream that I think Cris will like. This is a compilation of some of our finest Bills fans here in Buffalo. I wanted to talk to you also about the Bills fans, Bills Mafia, and that crazy tradition they have of breaking tables. We'll have to talk about that at another time.
Hey, that's y'all tradition, man. Y'all break tables and eat wings. We eat barbecue, man, and tailgate.
All right, man. All right, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
No problem. Anytime, man.
And everybody, get over there to his podcast and subscribe. In the meantime, here's that compilation of Bills fans breaking tables. Bills, Chiefs, Sunday night, 4:25 for 3 hours. Me and Cris will not be friends, but then we'll be friends again after. All right?
Yeah, most definitely. Let the best team win.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. God bless everyone, and we will see you tomorrow.